I never really cared about the lore in 99 Nights in the Forest. It seemed to be just a simple game based off of a true event, and that was about it. But I soon spotted this weird symbol everywhere around the map. I first saw it in the science lab and brushed it off as a logo for a company, but I would soon see this symbol in the new snow biome update inside of a lab. I thought maybe this was going to be a teaser for a future update and once again brushed it off. But when I saw the same mark inside the cultist base, I was hooked. Because of this single mark, I went on to a deep dive to search for any more lore evidence, and today I bring you a compiled version of this. Subject 1. The Forest Gem. One of the most interesting things in 99 Nights in the Forest is the Forest Gem. The Forest Gem can be found in gold chests and ruby chests, but most of all they can be found in strongholds after you clear them, which can help you make the connection that the Forest Gem was something that the cultists discovered. But look again, this place doesn't just have a forest gem lying around inside the cage. There is something else inside, which is the 2 scraps that both have 4 scrap value. So why am I bringing this up? This is because one of them, known as the cultist prototype, is seen to be a safe that locks in important items inside. Could the important item be the cultist's gem? That couldn't be it, since the cultists practically wear them and bring them wherever. Then what is the only other option? The forest gem. That is right. The cultists are experimenting to create forest gems. Need some proof? Think about the Berserker. The Berserker quite literally has the ability to revive. That's right. This is a reference to the revive machine that can only be made through forest gems and powered by cultist gems. Could this be just a simple coincidence?
I think not!
But here are some inconsistencies in the story, such as the bird watcher. Because how on earth does she have a goddamn forest gem? Where the hell did she get them? I heard some people say she got it from the ice temple, which is plausible. But we won't dig into this part, since the snow biome just got the new update, and I feel like the devs would add some lore into it later on. I'd like to first thank 2 of my viewers for giving me an amazing essay. The stronghold, unlike the other cultist bases, does not have the symbol on it, but rather has a diamond symbol. This is a telltale that cultists weren't the inhabitants here before. But now, think about it. Diamond can only be found if you dig deep enough. But to dig deep, you would have to create a mine. That's right. This was probably a rich person's house where they used the mines that are scattered around the map to dig ores and transport them using cars and planes. But one day, they would find the gem that would become the cultist gem. Interested in this, they would set up bases and science labs to experiment using the gem. This would eventually spawn in the alpha wolves, which is evident from the needle that can be found near a dead wolf and 2 other alpha wolves, indicating the failed experiments would pass away. However, one of the deers experimented would eventually turn into a Wendigo-like creature, causing rampage and escaping. The reason I call it the Wendigo is due to features that it has which are similar to the Wendigo, such as being able to control the weather, which perfectly explains the constant downpour of rain that happens every minute as you close into 100 days, and the fact that it's scared of the fire. For people who need some more proof on the rampage, you could visit the science lab and see this large cage torn open wide, which only the deer could do, along with the red exit on the back, which is quite literally an emergency exit that is only used for emergency situations. Seeing that no other areas have this door, I assume this was added in to show that some scientists did an emergency escape. But like I said before, this is all just a theory, a game theory. I'm sure we never asked this question while starting the game. Who the hell are we? The game gives an extremely brief explanation about who we are, by stating that we are here to investigate and find the kids, but doesn't exactly give an exact explanation. The question only gets more confusing as you look into it, as it specifically states that the police found literally 0 clues on the whereabouts of the missing children. But somehow, we have the exact locations of them pinpointed. Adding on to this, we can craft around anything that is out of touch, from teleporters and revive machines, and can use all the guns and weapons easily. Not only this, we have the ability to What if we were previously one of the cultists that was also the scientist that helped create the Wendigo? This would make sense, as the cultists are one of the helpers of the Deers and would have knowledge about the kids in the first place. This also helps understand how we have the blueprints and can craft literally anything insane out of the materials we scavenge. Although I am still confused about the classes and how we can even breathe in space when we get on an alien ship, I believe us being cultists gotta be somewhat true. But like I said before, this is all just a theory, a game theory. I'll spare you guys from some yapping and show you some more clips and photos with subtitles. This video was finished around 4 hours ago as I was giving it some final touches. I was about to upload this when I realized I was wrong about the cultist gem. The gem wasn't what they found in the mine. They found the forest gem inside the mine. That's right. This explains why the cultist gems are man-made prototypes by the cultists rather than the forest gems, which name quite literally says it was found in forests. To revise the lore, the Richman and his goons found forest gems inside the mine rather than the cultist gems. They would also try to replicate the forest gem's power, such as revival through the use of blood evident from its red color, and be unsuccessful, which would create the cultist gems. But this would be for another video. Trust me, there is a lot more to unpack if this is true. In the meantime, I would like to hear your opinion on the Rich Man lore and the Forest Gem lore. Then I'll see you in the next video.